Are you ready to start again on the paper doll story? Well, we'll see what happens this time. I've got my hearing aids on. Batteries are in the ears, so let's hope they stay quiet. Going to give it a second try. This is one of those stories I really wanted to tell, so it may not register as nicely as I had planned because I had to get all of my paper dolls all in order. Well, they're not in order now. This is how it goes. One day, a lady walked into the antique shop and said to Jan, "Would you like to have some old paper dolls?" "Yes, sure. I'll take paper dolls." She said, "Well, I've got them out in my car." She said, "Well, bring them in." The lady went back out, came back in the door, and here's what she was carrying. This was full of paper dolls. Well, you can imagine. Jan didn't know what to say. She just thought she'd bring in a few little handful, half a dozen sets of paper dolls, but the box was full. Well, Jan said, "Mom, here's your story. You remember the paper doll, you tell your story." So this is my story, the second time. When I was a little girl, we didn't have a lot of toys that were mechanical and with batteries and wind up, what have you. We had to make our own fun. And there wasn't enough money to just go out to, we didn't have toy stores then, but wherever you could find toys, most of them were handmade anyway, and we played in the yard and climbed trees and waded through the creek. That was the kind of thing we did when we were little. But once a year, Mama got a new catalog. It might be the Sears Roebuck catalog. It might be the Montgomery Ward catalog. Sometimes we got both. Now, you talk about excited. The kids, there was my brother, he's younger than I, and my sister, 2 years older than me. The three of us were still at home. All the others were gone and married and what have you. And we were the only kids left at home. So it was almost time for school to start. Out came the catalogs. Mama let us have the old catalog from the year before. We could cut paper dolls out of them, but in the new catalogs, we got to pick out about 3 or 4 items each of something to wear that we could have new for school. Now that was fun. My knee is in the way down here, and I've got to get twisted so that I can see you better. Okay. Somehow or other I'm going to get in here. Now. Okay. The old catalogs. Well, I got to cut out paper dolls from the old catalogs. We didn't have the money to buy those at the drugstore. So I was what I call the best paper cutter around. I was very particular when I was cutting out things, pictures, and I was cutting out ladies and girls from the old Sears catalog, one I could use for my paper doll. Sometimes, when I found the ones I liked, I could trace around them on cardboard and cut that out and I could paste the cardboard behind the lady picture. That way the paper wasn't so limp that it wouldn't stand up. I had a cardboard behind it, and you know how the picture frames sometimes come with a stand on the back that folds in, and you pull it out, and your picture frame will stand up. Well, we could glue our own little stand on the back of our paper dolls. So that's how we did our paper dolls. So I want to read something to you here. I looked this up. The first paper dolls, 1828, were made of cardboard. The clothing did not have tabs. Drops of sealing wax were used to hold them on the dolls. Okay, paper dolls were used in the 17th century as a way to design clothing for women. Did you ever think about that? That's where the paper dolls were made, so that the rich and famous women could have designs made, and they could look at the paper dolls, and the designers would make clothes for them. I'd never thought about it that way, but that's how the paper dolls got started. At the end of the 18th century, paper clothing with jointed parts, like the arms, were made, and the first model was a girl called Little Fanny, and another named Fluffy Ruffles. Picture her. Paper designs were made to model jointed clothing for a famous ballerina. Her name was Marie something or other. Among the early stars, the paper dolls were like Vivian Leigh, you know, from Gone with the Wind, with lots of paper clothing designs. As women began going to work, paper dolls were created with various clothing designs, including bathing suits for popular movie stars like Esther Williams. The most popular company to produce paper doll books was the McLaughlin Company. Many people began cutting their own designs from Sunday-colored newspapers and adding tabs to them. Now, you know what I'm talking about when I say tabs. Well, if you ever had a paper doll, you know what I'm talking about. Some think the paper doll craze began with Barbie and continued in the 1950s era, but I can tell you this. I was cutting out paper dolls from catalogs in the 1940s. Barbie didn't come along till the 1960s. So we go from there. That's all I'm going to tell you about what I looked up on the internet. Now, let's get into a few paper dolls. This could be fun. But first, I got to thinking when I was working with these, this song kept coming into my mind, and I started singing it. Now, first, I have to tell you, I can't sing. I can't sing because about 30 years ago, I had the croup, bad case. It affected my voice box, and I could no longer sing. I could no longer carry a tune. No matter how hard I tried, I could not give you the tune to the song. But the song I wish I could sing to you now is, I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own. A doll that other fellows cannot steal. And when those flirty, flirty guys with their flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I know I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded, real-life girl. If you're as old as I am, you remember that song. And you know who made it popular? The Mills Brothers in 1943. Now, the song has about 6 verses. I just happen to remember the first 2 verses. So I thought I'd pass that along to you, let you know I still got a bit of memory left. So let's start with the paper dolls that are in the Ziploc. Oh, here are a few, all cut out. You see, there's all kinds here. I don't know who they are. Oh, one of them here has her arm cut off. I guess they played with her too much. She lost her arm, but all of these have been cut out. Look at that. Now take a look at this. What you see there are a lot of tabs. See those little white squares? Those are the tabs that you have to cut out when you are making your own paper dolls. You're cutting them from the catalogs to fit the little lady that you cut out, and sometimes you start cutting the dress out, and uh-oh, I forgot to cut tabs. That was the most important thing. Here again, here's another bag. See those white tabs? Okay, now turn this over. And let's see, this says woman's clothes. Now look at the dress you can see. See that pink dress? Oh, goodness gracious. Wouldn't every little girl love to be able to wear a dress like that? But she had her substitute. She had her paper dolls, and she could cut out the dresses and put them on her paper dolls. That was such a delight. Here's another one. Look at this little dress. Oh, wouldn't I love to have had a dress like that when I was a child? I'm sure you would have too. Now, fellas, we've got a few guys involved, but now we're looking at the lady. Look at that. This says costumes. So these have all been cut out. And, oh, this one looked kind of like the prom dress I had when I was in high school, but mine was made of netting, turquoise netting. Now let's see what else we have. There's just more and more and more. All of these. Okay, let's put these aside. There's so many of them. Goodness, in my lifetime I never had this many paper dolls, even including the ones from the Sears and Montgomery Ward catalogs. Now, I don't know what all we've got here. Oh, my goodness. This, look at this. Look at the size of that baby doll outfit. It hasn't been cut out yet. I want to see what's inside here. Oh, these are, oh, my gosh. Oh, take a look at this. Isn't this precious? This is a hard cardboard. And you cut this out. Oh, I think I've got an outfit here for this one. Yeah. You pull those tabs down around the neck. And on the sides, you know what I mean. Okay, I think I've got it. But anyway, you get those tabs on there, and there's another little outfit for the baby doll. So I'll put these back in, and we've got a lot more to cover here. Okay, we're going to put these aside, and we're going to the ones that are in folders. You're going to love this one, or at least I do. This is a folder Wouldn't you know? Raggedy Ann and Andy. Aren't they cute? There's the back side. But let me show you. These have little pockets in them so that you, once you cut the paper dolls out, you can slide them down in the pockets and they won't fall out and get lost. Okay, here she is, Raggedy Ann, and here's one of her dresses. Let's see how she looks. Let's see if we can get this dress on her with the little tabs under her hair. Okay. What do you think? Isn't she cute? That's just about the way she looks when you buy the Raggedy Ann doll. She's usually wearing a little dress like this. And then there is, oh, come on now. Let's get these things back in place. Back into the pocket you go. And here's Andy. Yeah. Andy has his clothes too on the other side in a pocket. Well, of course, this was the first one that I looked at, and I just loved it when I saw it, because I'd never owned a paper doll that big. Take a look at that. Okay, oh, and here. Now, this is, I know, every little girl would like to have had this. You mothers and grandmothers that have the young children, I want you to show your grandchildren these and see what they think about paper dolls. I'll bet they've never had paper dolls like you did. But this just thrilled me when I saw these. Never would I have had something this nice. Okay, let's start with these little girls. See how precious they are? They're good sized little girls. And look at this one. This one has had a stand. See, she's had a stand glued to the back of her. But look at her. Did you ever own a paper doll like that? Well, I know I didn't. But let me show you the clothing. These have not been cut. And these go right over the shoulders. They don't have tabs. Can you see them? All of these dresses. This is one dress. And you see, this is cut so that you can pull it right over her shoulders. Now watch this. I'll bet you never had one like this. Take a look at this little girl. Take a close look. What do you see? She's got hair. I never had a paper doll that had hair, blonde hair. This has come a little bit loose. Probably it's supposed to have been glued. But wouldn't you love to have had this when you were a little girl? I know I would. These go back into their envelopes. I don't want to get them all mixed up. We're not through. We've got a long way to go. So I hope you got something to drink. And even a little bit of popcorn would have helped too. All right, come on. How many of you had paper dolls? Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Now, I could tell you every movie that they played in because I went to the theater every Saturday afternoon and there were double feature. And the second feature was always a cowboy movie. It might be Roy Rogers. It might be Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy. You know all of those cowboys. And here we have, these have all been cut out. Here we go. There's Dale Evans. Over here, you see, whoops, Roy Rogers. He's got the pocket on this side, and she, well, come on, slide down in there. Oh, he even wore a robe back then. I didn't know cowboys wore robes, but I guess he did. He probably made enough money off of us kids that he could afford a robe. Look at his cowboy boots. There's Dale Evans, how pretty she was. Oh, I just thought they were wonderful. There's, now, the Nutcracker Ballet cutouts. What little girl didn't want to be a ballerina? Well, I know I would love to have been, but I certainly didn't have the body for it. And here you have, what you have here is a fold out that once you have cut out, now these haven't been cut out, they're in the pocket. Over here are the girls, these are the ballerina girls. This is one of them. I won't show you all of them because they look pretty much alike. Yeah, oh, they got some guys in there too. So here are the ballerinas. But you can fold this out, stand it up, and then once you dressed your ballerinas, you can stand them in front of this backdrop. That would have been nice. I never knew there were things like that. Bridal party. A wedding dress and bridesmaid dresses. Oh gosh, this is full of them, and they've all been cut. They all have tabs. See all these tabs over here? These are the guys. These are their clothing. And what a delight it was to pull out something like this. Can you imagine? Daydreaming about wearing this gown, and of course you can cut the veil around it. Yeah, I could sit down and play with paper dolls today. I think I could. So that's one of your bride books. Here is another one. I'd say they like the bride book. And look at this background. Look what you've got. And back here are your pockets. That one got loose. Here are your characters. Over here in the corner, you have to kind of pick them out. Sometimes they get slid down in those pockets and you can't see them. There we go. Yeah. There's your another backdrop. Another bridal party. I'm not going to open all of these. Remember the Lennon Sisters on Lawrence Welk Show? Here they are, all four of them. I can remember, I loved the Lennon Sisters. I thought their harmony was just wonderful. And here they are with their outfit. They have not been cut out yet. The Lennon Sisters. And you'll love this one. Debbie Reynolds. Wouldn't I like to have been another Debbie Reynolds? You better believe I would. She'd sing, dance, and do anything. She could act too. Here she is. Right here. Here she is. All of her clothes are over here with all the tabs. Very nice and neatly cut. Now, I know the child that cut these out was like me. She was particular. She wanted everything cut right on the line. Those tabs had to be perfect. Let's see what Debbie Reynolds looked like in this outfit. Wouldn't I love to have had a dress like that? Only had one in my life. And I had to wear it to high school banquet. We were such a small class. We didn't have enough boys in the class to have dates. So you couldn't have a prom. Who were you going to dance with? So we had banquets. I always hated that because we didn't get to learn to dance in high school. Get these little gowns and things back down in here, nice and neat. That's Debbie Reynolds. Now, if you're getting bored, go to the kitchen, get you something to drink, and come back, and I'll have gone through 2 or 3 more while you were gone. You remember the McGuire sisters? They were very popular in the mid-1950s. They had beautiful harmony. I had just married, living in Louisville, and there were these sisters from the church that I got to know. They too had beautiful singing voices. They sang, of course, in church a lot or anywhere they were invited. The McGuire sisters happened to have been in town, and one of them was telling me, one of the girls was telling me that they got to meet the McGuire sisters. And one of them said to her, "You are the only person I have ever met that could go as low as I do." Well, I'm guessing this McGuire sister probably sang second alto. And my friend said she was so excited because the McGuire sister recognized her beautiful singing voice. And of course, you can see their paper dolls right there already cut out. Just makes me wish I could have been a kid again. Dinosaur. Yeah, you gotta be my age to know about Dinosaur. She was born in Tennessee. She's from Tennessee. Okay, here she is. She's got her wardrobe. Everything's all cut out. And a little dressing room, everything. It was wartime. My brother-in-law was in Germany, I think, during the war. His troop was along the roadside, and here comes this big truck. Who is it? What are they doing? Where are they going? And on the back of the truck was a lady waving her arm. Guess who it was? Dinosaur. She was there to entertain the guys. And she pointed right at my brother-in-law and said, "Hey, fella, where are you from?" And he said, "Tennessee." Well, they got a whoop and a holler, you know. You know how that pleased Dinosaur, a guy from her home state. Yeah, I always remembered that. Now, I'm going to go, there's a whole stack of photos here, but I'm going to the one that's my favorite. And I'll tell you one of the reasons it's my favorite. I always wished I could design clothes. I just loved to be a designer because I loved clothes myself. And here she is, Doris Day. Remember the movie, That Touch of Mink? Oh my gosh. She wore the most beautiful clothes I've ever seen, and she wore them well. The coat, the mink coat, the beautiful long dresses. And it didn't matter what she put on. It was beautiful. And I said I'd never forget that movie because I had never seen such gorgeous clothes in my life. Well, this one, that's Doris Day standing here. And I don't know where her clothes are. Oh, they're here on the other side. I don't know if I can get my hands on them or not. Not really. Not really. I can't get down in there. But I always said I wanted to meet Bob Mackie. If only I could meet the designer, Bob Mackie, especially when he was designing all of Carol Burnett's clothes for her show. I thought if I could get in his studio, he would let me watch the designers making the clothes. That would be a dream come true for me. So, I never missed a Doris Day movie, I'll tell you that. Because she made the best movies. Got to get this folder right so the clothes don't get folded. Okay, now. Yes. Of course, you got to have a figure like Doris Day, which I didn't have, but I don't think Carol Burnett did either. But Bob Mackie knew how to make her look good. So, here you see Doris Day. I would love to have had this paper doll book when I was about 8 or 10 years old. Wouldn't I have loved to cut out her clothes? I would not have made a mistake on a single cut with this Doris Day doll. It says the magic stay on clothes. Now, I'm trying to think if I left anything out, because I know my story was longer the first time I did it. And if you hear any chirping, you better look out the window and see if there's a bird sitting on the windowsill, because it's not coming from my hearing aid today. Now, I've done this video twice, and it ain't coming again the third time. Use your imagination. I'm getting ready today, just did my hair. I hope the curls stay in it long enough to get to Jan's, and we're going to Louisville tomorrow to Jessica's church service. That is a big church. Big. It's like a coliseum. It's got 3 balconies. By the time you get up in the 3rd balcony, you don't know who's standing on the stage. You can't see them close enough to tell they're pretty or ugly or what they might be, male or female. But she works in the projection room. Now, I never did tell you, though, Jessica is a pretty girl. She is a beautiful girl. I'm not saying that because she's my granddaughter. I'm saying it because she is. She is what she is. She's smart, and she dreams up things for her grandmother to do. She hit the whopper this time when she decided to put me on YouTube. Well, that's how I got there. She set me up, and we're still working on it, and I'm trying to learn a little day by day. I've got a friend in Texas who's trying to help me learn how to do extra things on YouTube. I'm a little slow in my learning, but it's amazing the patience this man has when he's working with me. Now, Dan doesn't have that kind of patience. She just gives up and says, go on the internet and find it. So, but Jan is good in other ways. She had taken care of her mother during my accident, and I tell you what, that little knot right there, it's almost gone down. 2 weeks. It was as big as a baseball, and you can hardly tell it's there now. I'm still not out of the woods, as they might say, but I'm careful, and had a lot of people say prayers for me, and I do believe the prayers worked. So I feel much better now, and I have you people watching over me too, and I want to thank you for that. And you know what? This video is shorter than the one I did yesterday. I must have left something out. Wonder what it was. I don't know, but I've got to get my bag packed. Jan's going to be picking me up in a little bit, and off we go, and I'll be getting back with you after Easter Sunday. Thank you for watching.